Okay, so hi. Now we continue with Unit 9, just the health of it, and Lesson 2, listening and speaking skills. Right, objectives of the lesson. Now, by the end of the lesson, learners will be able to answer multiple choice questions, deal with scientific information, use health and medicine related vocabulary, use demonstrative, reflexive, indefinite, and reciprocal pronouns, talk about health, compare photographs, and use relevant words. Okay, so they are the objectives of this lesson. By the end of the lesson, I hope that all of you can be able to do all of them here. All right. Now let's move to the next part, the first part, part one, listening. Okay, I would like you to open section B in your textbook. Listen to two people discussing common diseases and circle the correct words. Okay, now it's time for you. Okay, so after discussing right and circle the correct words, now I would like you to check the answer. Okay, so number one can lead to death. Number two can bring on tooth decay. Number three can be cured with medication. And number four suffer from a lack of sleep, right? So now let's move to section D. Complete the exam task in your textbook, please. It's time for you. Okay, so please look at the exam task in your textbook and try to complete the task. Okay, and here is the answer. You can refer to the answer and compare with your answers, right? Number one, A, number two, C, number three, B, number four, B, number five, B, and number six, D. Okay, now let's move to the next one, part three, exam practice. Okay, so in the exam practice, I would like all of you to do all exercises from number five. Okay, yes, number six, number seven, number eight. Is this okay? And after you finish all the other exercises, so you will come back and I will show you the answers, right? Let's start, please. Okay, so now look at the answer for number five, practice number five. All right, so 1C, 2D, 3A, and for how glaciers erode bedrock, plucking courses, large chunks to be detected. Okay, operations or course debris. Okay, right. And here is exercise number six, practice number six. And then for practice number seven, all right, practice number eight. Okay, so I would like you to copy all the answers from practice number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, and then compare to your own answers. Okay. All right, now let's move to test preparation for listening and speaking. All right, the objectives of this test preparation is that, the lesson aims to familiar, familiarize learners with different types of questions and to allow learners to time themselves, to prepare exam skills, to provide chances to practice, and to provide learners more language knowledge on vocabulary, grammar, and collocations, etc. All right. So now let's move to part one, listening. Okay, in this part, I would like you to focus on skill D. Open your textbook, skill D, matching words and categories. Okay, and try to listen and finish the questions for me in practice number one, campus life. Okay, now it's time for you. Okay, so now I will show you the answer, right? For number one, yes, A, C, and D. No, B. Okay. Number two, A. Number three, C. And number four, C. All right. Now let's continue with listening. So you now do for me number two, business administration, right? It's time for you to play the recordings, listen, and try to finish all the exercises. Okay, and here is the answer for this exercise. Okay, so number one, we have a franchise, pro and A, con, C. All right, independent business, pro, B, and con, D. All right, 2A, 3B, and C, 4B. Okay, now let's continue with skill D, number three. Okay, geography, right? Okay, so let's look at number three, geography, and do exercises in this listening part. Okay. Alright, so let's look at the answer. Number 1, latitude, B, D, E, longitude, A, C, F. Number 2, B. Number 3, B. And number 4, D. Okay? Right. Continue with number 4, campus life. Okay, now it's time for you to practice listening number 4. Okay? Alright, so here, now please compare your answer with my answer. Number 1, yes, C. No, A, B, and D. Number 2, A. Number 3, B, C, E. And number 4, D. Okay? Now let's move to practice listening number 5, music. Okay, it's time for you to listen and finish the exercise in this practice. Okay, so let's check, please. Number 1, Baroque, C. Classical, A and B. Romantic, D and E. Okay, number 2, A. Number 3, A. And number 4, B. Okay. Right, move to practice listening number 6 about literature. Okay, please open your recording for practice number 6, topic literature, and then finish all the requirements of this practice. Okay, now it's time for you, please. Alright, so here is the answer that you can refer to. Number 1, novels, C, E, other works, A, B, D. Number 2, D. Number 3, and number 4, D. Okay. So we have just finished with part 1 listening. Now we'll move to part 2 speaking. Alright. So for this part, we will go with part 1 first. Okay, in this part, the examiner asks the candidate about him or herself, his or her home, work or studies, and other familiar topics. Example, okay, let's talk about the topic travel. And then we have 4 different questions related to this topic, and the examiner will ask the candidate, okay, these are topics. Do you enjoy traveling? Why or why not? Have you done much traveling? Why or why not? Do you think it's better to travel alone or with other people? Why? Where would you like to travel in the future? Why? Okay, so now take turns. I would like you to role play, work in pairs and role play. One is examiner and the other is candidate. Okay, so you will take 2 turns, and after 2 turns, you can role play both roles. Okay, examiner and candidate. All right, so now it's time for you. Let's start, please. Okay, so when you finished with part 1, we now move to part 2. All right, you can get, the examiner will give you this card. Okay, so in this card, you will see the topic, the requirements. All right, for example, here, okay, so in this card, you will have to describe a child that you know. You should say who this child is and how often you see him or her, right? How old this child is, what he or she is like, and explain what you feel about this child. Okay, you will have to talk about the topic for 1 or 2 minutes. You have a 1 minute to think about what you are going to say. You can make some notes to help you if you wish. Alright, so during 1 minute of preparation, you can write down the main ideas that you are going to talk about. And then after 1 minute of preparation, you can keep talking. Okay, you can use your note and the card here to start talking, okay, about your topic from 1 to 2 minutes. Alright, yeah. So now it's time for you. Okay, in this part, I also would like you to keep talking in pairs. Okay, role play. One is the candidate and the other is examiner. All right, so the examiner will uh, pay attention to the time. All right, and then try to note down the mistakes, okay, of the candidates related to vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, fluency, coherence, and cohesion. All right, and then after the candidates talking, so the examiner may give the comment to have the candidate improve, okay, for the next term of talking, right? And then you can take turns, okay, change the roles. All right, yes, so let's start, please. Okay, so let's move to part 3. In this part of the test, so you need to talk about topics, and then the topic is children's free time activities. That means you need to talk about children free time activities. And here you can see that we have the outline, okay, and the prompts for you, the suggestion, okay, to talk about, to develop your topic, right? First activities is joining clubs. The second activities is reading books. The third activity is going picnic, all right? Or you can use your own idea. It is okay. You can use the outline here to improve your talking, okay? You can support the suggestions here by giving explanations, giving examples to illustrate, etc. Or you can use your own ideas to talk about children free time activities. Okay, if you think that these activities are not suitable for children to do in their free time, so you may think about others. All right, it's up to you. Okay, before talking, you still have a 1 minute to prepare, right? So let's start, please. Okay, and after talking about part 3, you will have to answer follow-up questions. All right, so all the questions were related to the topics about children's free time activities. Okay, so the examiner may ask you 2 or 3 questions. Okay, well, for example, about the topics children's free time activities. So they may ask you, what are the most popular free time activities with children today? Do you think the free time activities children do today are good for their health? Why is that? And how do you think children's activities will change in the future? Will this be a positive change? Okay. Now let's continue with skill D, number 3,